Who invented zero? Hi, this is Vinay Nair. Welcome to your YouTube channel Vicharvatika 1, where we share puzzles and fun stuff related to mathematics. If somebody would ask, what is that aspect in mathematics or what is that concept in math that changed the entire world, what would that be? And if you have to name two such major contributions that revolutionized science, what would those two contributions be? Give it a thought before you move ahead. Well, those two would be the discovery or invention of zero and the decimal place value system. And these two powerful tools helped math progress immensely and science progressed in leaps and bounds thanks to the discovery or invention, as you may want to call it, of these two ideas. But who discovered or invented zero? This is an often asked question. Was it the Mayans or the Babylonians or the Egyptians, or was it the Indians, or perhaps all four of them? Let's find out. Pause this video and pick your answer from these 5 options. Well, before we see the answer, let's look at a little story about zero. The Mayans had contributed a lot to mathematics, and Mayans used the base 20 or 20 symbols to represent numbers. Today we use the decimal system or base 10, which has 10 symbols. The Mayans had 20. In fact, Mayans also used 2 different kinds of zeros. Quite interesting, right? There was one kind of zero which was like a half open eye that they used for terminal zero. That is, if zero appears at the end of a number, and if zero appeared in between a number, then it had a different type of symbol. So Mayans did talk about zero. What about the Babylonians? The Babylonians, they used a blank space to represent nothing. For instance, if there is a 3 and a 4 and a blank space in between, it would mean 304. But then they had no symbol for zero. But they did talk about zero. What about the Egyptians? Well, the Egyptians also, like the Babylonians, used a blank space to represent nothingness. But they had no symbol for zero. However, they used zero as origin to mark the ground level. So zero was like a placeholder. And the Indians? Well, before we see what the Indians did, let's first ask, what does zero mean? Zero, it means nothing. It also means a digit. It is one of the 10 digits that we use. It's a symbol. It's also a placeholder. It divides the positive and negative numbers, and it's also a number. Interestingly, Indians were using zero in all the 4 senses. They used zero to represent nothing. They used zero as a digit. They used zero as a divider between positive and negative numbers. And they also used zero as a number. They also had rules for operations with zero. That is why the world gives the credit of modern day zero to Indian, because the zero that we use today was the kind of zero that ancient Indians contributed. But that doesn't mean the other civilizations did not contribute to zero at all. They also had their ideas about zero. It's just that Indians contributed the modern day zero, which is not just a digit or not just a symbol to represent nothing, but much more than that. So the answer to the quiz, who discovered or invented zero? Well, it is all of the above. If you like this video, do like, share and subscribe. And if you like these kind of questions and quizzes or other fun facts in mathematics, follow our WhatsApp channel for more such fun stuff. Thank you for watching. See you in the next video.